Okay, we are live, and you have the star of the show, which is the cat. Okay, let me try and go. Let me go live here on Instagram as well before we get started on our topic. Hello, everyone. Let's see. Give me just a second to go live. Okay, we're good on Instagram as well.
She's purring.
Is she purring? That's what she does. She is a purr
Uh-huh.
machine. All right, thank
You
you,
guys,
everyone, for joining us. This is the cat, and it is all about the cat. No, we're going to
isn't she cute?
she's the
She's
best.
Melon.
She is the best. She is a distraction, a
She's
great
such a
distraction.
cuddly good kitty. I
She's
love her so
she's far more
much.
cuddly than our topic today. Our topic is not as nearly as fun and cute as this cat. So we're going to be looking at Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories, and in general, I want to show you guys why I reject these Charlie Kirk conspiracy theories. And
Dun dun
dun
dun.
dun
You're
dun.
getting
Yeah,
paid.
you must be getting
You're part of
paid
the
by some.
psyop.
I know, right? Which, by the way, can we be? We're a bit of conspiracy theorists ourselves, though, right?
Oh
Like
yeah.
on other topics. You
Yes.
know,
Oh yeah.
I'm not someone who just trusts the government. Like, I do
Mhm.
not believe the JFK official narrative. That
Mhm.
is ridiculous.
Mhm.
I mean, you guys want to talk?
I don't even think we went to the. I know we didn't go to the
You want to
moon.
talk about the lunar landing? You want to talk about
Yeah,
9/11?
with the technology of a Nokia.
I know. With computers that were like weaker than my Apple Watch, yeah. But we
Yeah.
can't do it now, right?
hmm
Okay, so
I used to listen to Alex Jones pretty regularly. I mean, I would listen around the way home
yeah.
from.
So we're
He used to be on YouTube. Can you believe there was a
when
time
that was just
when
allowed.
Alex Jones was
Now I'm
on
like, don't
YouTube?
even say his name because they'll
I
like,
know. True that.
yeah, we're live on YouTube now. They'll be like,
I haven't been censored in a
you
while,
said
but
his name. We will not let this video get seen. But yeah, so. No, we're definitely not like anti every conspiracy theory. But just
no.
because some things are a conspiracy theory doesn't mean everything. And I honestly, I think that's one of the problems that happened kind of from like the Q era, where we've got into this like question everything. And I mean, let's remember it's good to question things and it's good to, but you have to do it if you're using critical thinking skills. If you're just asking questions and you're never following any kind of like logical way of doing it, then I mean that's no different than what the devil did in the Garden of Eden. He was just
Mind
asking
you,
questions. Did God really say you can,
yeah.
right? You know, just asking questions. And it,
But I think you should have the freedom to be a devil.
yeah, if you want,
Yeah,
sure.
I think people
Sure.
should be allowed to ask any kind of crazy
Go for
questions,
it.
any kind of conspiracy. I think that should be protected under freedom of speech.
Absolutely.
But we do have slander laws, so there's that. I
Yeah.
think those are used. Some people get to get away with a lot of slander, and some people don't,
Yeah.
which is
Well,
kind of unfair.
depends on how
But
much money you have and the way that you
yeah.
cleverly word it, which is why just asking questions is really a clever way to get around some of these slander laws if you don't
Oh,
actually say it. What?
where do you stand on the? Someone said, "Where do you stand on the Tupac faked his death conspiracy?"
Oh, that's funny. There's no way Tupac faked his death, even though
Really?
I believed that when I was in high school. I
There's
believed
people
that
that look like
so
him.
much
Oh,
because,
you did?
oh, dude, we're from California. I was like, no, there's no way. He named his album Machiavelli, and Machiavelli was a guy who faked his death. And do do do. But it's like, yeah, there's no way. It's been like what, how long now? Yeah, Tupac dead.
Oh,
Sorry. Um,
he may have been gay. I will say that.
that may I don't know. That may be I don't.
You never know.
Anyway, okay. So what we're gonna do today? That's enough intro. We're
Yeah,
gonna go through some of these points in
theories.
these conspiracy theories, and I'm gonna show you why. I don't think it's not the same as like the JFK assassination. Like I think the
Mm.
official story happens to be true this time. It doesn't mean I believe everything the government says. I just think it happens to be true this time. And
And we don't know the full official story yet, too.
well, yeah, but I mean,
So
like the
that's
basics,
yeah, the basics.
yeah,
Yeah,
the basics that
and
Tyler
this is
Robinson
talking about
did.
Charlie Kirk's
Yeah, the
assassination.
basics that Tyler
You're getting
Robinson did.
paid.
Yeah,
You
I know.
get paid.
Where's my check?
You're fed.
I wish. Where's my check? Yeah, so we're gonna go over that, and we're gonna talk a little bit about some of these. Well, okay, let's just dig into it. So You have heard about the whole theory that the caliber of bullet that was used on him, that could not have been the real one, right? You've heard this, the 30-06, that it was not, he wasn't, you've heard this, right?
Yeah, people have heard that.
Yeah.
And they keep saying, this Man of Steel is
Yeah, the
so
Man of
stupid.
Steel
Why would
theory.
people even say that? It's
And
so
so you
stupid. And they
can,
say that
yeah,
a
you
lot.
can
Like,
go
oh,
online.
I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah.
not going to believe this Man of Steel
You
thing.
can go
Yeah.
online, you can watch videos of people using those kind of guns, using that type of bullet, and shooting like, a ham hock or something, or shooting they have one where it's like a gel type of shape of a head or something like that. And you see the things, it's smithereens, and it's, first of all, how many takes were taken that, didn't happen like that, and they just showed you the one they want, right? But secondly, here's one thing that you probably haven't heard that should destroy that theory right away. Did you know that MLK was shot with the same caliber of bullet? Have you ever
Mm.
heard that? Did you know that? He was shot in the jaw by the same,
So basically, what they're saying is that it's impossible that the bullet that Charlie Kirk was shot with would be stopped in his
stopped in
neck
his
and
neck,
not have an
not have an
exit
exit
wound,
wound,
or not completely
and
like
not like just blow
decapitate
up his
him.
whole,
Yeah.
like they expect it to be, oh,
Oh
that's
my gosh, it
so
was
powerful.
already
It was
traumatizing enough.
traumatizing enough.
Imagine
Yeah.
imagine if it was like
Yeah,
that.
I know.
I only saw it
I
once.
saw it once, maybe
Yeah, and
twice.
I was like, I had to stay
I didn't want
away
to see it again.
from
Yeah, yeah.
X for a while because I knew that that's
No,
where they were reposting
it
it.
was
And
traumatizing.
and,
Yeah,
and as soon as I saw it, I just started
yeah,
bawling because I
yeah.
knew he wasn't going to survive.
No, there
Because
was
I
no
heard,
survival.
we
Yeah,
heard Charlie Kirk got assassinated and then, I mean, got
shot,
shot.
and we
That's what
weren't
we heard. And I was
sure.
thinking,
Yeah,
oh, maybe in the arm or something
yeah.
like that. And
Maybe
then
he
I
made it.
immediately, when I
I
first went
remember I
online, I
saw it
saw
before
it.
you did, and I told you, I was just
Yeah.
like,
And I
you don't need to see
don't even
that,
look
and
because
there's
I
no
said I
way
needed to
he. I was
see
like, there's
because I
no way
wanted to
he
see if he
made
was
it
going to survive.
because it was
Yeah.
clear it was a small wound at the beginning and then a lot of blood. But
Yeah. And it was so sad. I just started
well, okay,
bawling.
so, and I hate that we have to do this, but we have to because, and this is the main thing that I want people to take away from this. There are people who are getting spun out into these, from these theories, and they're getting detached from reality.
Mm.
And you can't, the way God reaches us is through our brains, through logic, and through like our five senses, knowing what reality is. If you have no concept of reality, if you're living in some fantasy world, it makes it hard for God to reach you. You know what I mean? Like, you need to
Mm.
be grounded in reality. And there's people who are
And the
getting spun out in unhealthy ways, right? Go ahead.
also the principles of our justice system, even though our justice system could be
Yeah,
corrupted and it can be corrupted at times, but the principles of it and what it's based on, we that people are innocent until proven
yeah,
guilty.
yeah,
That is so important. I feel like people are putting so much guilt on random friends of Charlie and
yeah.
his wife
People in
without.
maroon shirts and
Yeah,
stuff like
they're
that.
like,
Yeah,
"She did
yeah.
it. It's done," and it's like, "Where's your evidence?"
So so let
But
so
anyways,
let's talk more
uh,
about this bullet. Okay.
yeah, the bullet.
Okay. So and I just want to go through these things quickly. I don't want to spend too much time, but
Yeah.
so MLK was shot with the same caliber bullet from about half the distance, so even closer
Oh.
than Charlie Kirk was. This is all
Mhm.
like well documented. And
Mhm.
he was shot in the jaw. It went in
Mhm.
and there was no exit wound. He didn't like explode on contact, you know what I mean? Like so it's
It is
it is
possible.
possible. And
Yeah.
the other thing about bullets is that it's extremely unpredictable. You can shoot the same bullet. You think you're shooting it the exact same way, same place, and yet it does different things depending on the spin inside inside of the spiral inside of the barrel, the way the wind, all kinds of stuff. There's no way to
So you're
predict it.
saying MLK was shot in the jaw?
Yes.
Not Charlie Kirk, because someone thinks that. Yeah, I think they're
No, no,
thinking that
I'm
you.
talking about
Yeah.
MLK. MLK.
Yeah.
Yeah, MLK was
Yeah.
shot with the same caliber of bullet. Okay,
Yeah.
and it didn't. There was no exit wound.
And it didn't
It
blow his
didn't
head
make him
off.
just blow up
Mhm.
immediately. Like people are
Mhm.
acting as if this kind of bullet is just like a cannon or something.
And I think that's one of the reasons why people are very much into the conspiracy theories on this because there's like There's
You go online and you see people
everyone's
shooting
like,
and
yeah, it's
flying
not.
or blow, right?
Yeah, there's no
But
way.
people who like hunt regularly, they know that things don't always happen though, you know. Yes, it's a powerful caliber bullet, and yes, it's possible that it could do a lot of damage, but there's also times when it doesn't. And you just cannot be sure on that. You can't base your whole theory on that, especially given the fact that here's another example, MLK, and it didn't, like, there was no exit wound and it didn't make him just blow up on contact into pink dust or anything like that. So
And I'm getting, I just want to
go ahead.
quickly add to that. I'm getting a lot of hate for this distinction, but I think it's important. And I'm someone who studied law. My undergrad is in law, but it's actually the Utah Attorney General's office that's releasing this evidence and that collected the evidence. It's not the feds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
The feds, they are also conducting an investigation, but they're not doing a murder investigation. It's the Attorney General's
yeah.
office that's doing
And they're
that.
probably
The feds,
assisting on the investigation
yeah,
and handing the
but
evidence off. Yeah.
they are also wanting to see if this is a domestic terrorism or a
Yeah.
hate crime,
Mm-hmm.
and if they can press charges on that. But it's
Like
actually the Utah
Antifa or something.
Attorney General's office that has the evidence. They are also the ones that released the text messages
Mm-hmm.
between um,
They're doing the immediate murder
Tyler
charge.
Robinson. Yeah, and so a lot of people are saying it's the feds, but it's not. It's
Yeah,
actually the
yeah,
Utah
yeah,
Attorney General's
yeah,
office.
yeah.
So that's just, I think that's an important distinction.
It is, and people, if you are listening to Candace, and people like her, like, why did she turn in her some of her? She turned in like she said, what was it, a death threat to the feds,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, to somebody who's high up, and she's on text messaging terms with. So if the feds are all corrupt, then why is she buddy buddies with someone high up there, and why is she turning in some info to them, but then claiming they're making everything else up? That's inconsistent, right?
Yeah,
Okay. So anyway, Charlie, when he was shot, and this is the opposite of what happened with JFK. The official story is Charlie shot from the front. You watch the video, he falls back, right?
hmm,
That's consistent with being shot from where Tyler Robinson was. It
hmm,
fits, right? Your eyeballs
yeah,
tell you he was shot from the front, he flew back, right? The JFK story is the exact opposite.
hmm,
The JFK, the official narrative of the JFK story is that he was shot from behind, and yet anyone who watches the video sees him go back and to, I think it's the left, and the exit wounds in the back. That does not fit getting shot from behind. So everyone in the video of his assassination runs to the grassy knoll, right? Because it's like that's where the bullet came from. He got shot. So the official narrative of the JFK assassination is the opposite of what your eyeballs tell you, right?
true.
Whereas the Charlie Kirk assassination, the official narrative fits exactly what your eyeballs tell you. He was
Hmm.
shot from the front, he fell back, right?
Hmm.
It fits exactly, okay? It is indeed possible that that caliber bullet could get hit in the vertebrae, could, depending on how old it is, that, you know, it's an old gun, all this stuff. It's what kind of, we don't know exactly what, you know, there's all different types of of bullets that use that same caliber. It could be
Hmm.
fragmented and then leave and stay into the body, all this stuff. Now there is a ammo manufacturer, and I recommend you guys go and check this guy out on X. He's called Phoenix Ammunition. FENIX. Go look up FENIX ammunition on X. There you can see videos of his facilities. He posts them where he's just got barrels and barrels of ammo. He produces like 6 million bullets a day or something crazy like that. And he goes in deep diving breakdowns debunking some of these theories, especially the idea that it could not have been this caliber bullet. And he shows that, yeah, indeed, it could have been. Absolutely. Is it more likely that the bullet does more damage? Yes, but often, many times, it doesn't. And then there's whole papers, research papers that have been done on how often it doesn't do as much damage. So they've done studies on like hunting where they go and they look, you know, for example, so you shoot a deer, and you shoot it with a certain caliber of bullet, and it doesn't kill the deer, but the lead goes into the body, and the deer keeps running, and then some other animal eats it and gets lead poisoning. Apparently, this happens so often that there have been whole studies on it.
Hmm.
Shot with the same kind of bullet. The bullet has an entry wound but no exit, and it shatters inside the body, and there's just fragments, and the animal's still alive, runs around, gets eaten by another animal.
Hmm.
And they've done studies on this. So like
Hmm.
it is I wouldn't say common, but happens enough that there's whole studies on it. And it happened to MLK too. Okay, let's move on from that. Go check out
Hmm.
Phoenix Ammunition for more details. So it's definitely a possibility. All right. Um, then they say, well, okay, maybe. And here's the other question about the ammunition. Why would you lie about that? What is the possible motive for lying about the ammo if it's just such an obvious case closed thing? You see what I'm saying? Like why wouldn't you just say what the right bullet was and the right gun? If you were
Hmm.
trying to lie about this, why would you just leave this gaping hole in your theory? Why wouldn't you just say, yeah, he shot him with this bullet instead? It doesn't make any sense. There's no good reason for that. People will say that that Tyler Robinson, yeah, maybe he did it, but he was a patsy. You know what a
Hmm.
patsy is, right? Like the guy that they have do it or take the blame, but he didn't really do it, like Lee Harvey Oswald, right? Here's the problem with that. Patsies don't make it to trial. Patsies don't make it to trial because they're a loose end, right? They
Hmm.
don't want, for the same reason Epstein didn't kill himself, for the same
Hmm.
reason he's gone, because
Yeah.
loose lips sink ships, right?
Now, if he doesn't make it to trial,
Yeah, that's another question. But right now,
yeah, we're
as it is right
there's
now,
still some
the
time.
guy is sitting there smiling with his. Have you noticed he wears a trans-colored tie? Do you notice that? The judge is
Yeah.
being nice to him, right?
Yeah.
I hope judge said something like, "I hope he has a good day" or something like. It's just Patsy. Lee Harvey Oswald was killed like a day later, 2 days later.
Hmm.
It was boom done. And here's the
Yeah.
other thing about this, the big picture on
Well, the
this.
guy that shot at Trump too, he was killed because there may be some shady stuff with
There
that.
may be.
I mean,
Why
that
was that
one.
allowed to happen, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
you can
He's
understand
just
with Charlie
gone.
Kirk because it was like there wasn't a ton of security. That was, he kind of put himself out there. But with Trump, that's the president. Why was that allowed to
Hmm.
happen, right?
Hmm.
So, and then here's the other thing.
And
Go ahead.
here's the oh, go ahead. I mean, people are like, yeah, we need to question everything. I agree with that, but we also need to question the conspiracy theories.
That's all I'm doing. Question the conspiracy
You know what I'm
theories,
saying?
right?
You know what I'm saying? But we're not allowed to do that. We're not allowed to do that.
So
But
speaking of which,
yeah.
if let's say that this grand conspiracy where Bridget Macron and France and Israel and all these different world countries were all coming after, they all wanted to get Charlie Kirk. Why would you do it like that?
Yeah, I think that the whole idea that it's Fed slop is kind of funny because Feds aren't sloppy.
Not like that. Like, do you know, and guys, go look this up on the internet. Go look up
Uh-huh.
the church committee and go look up the heart attack gun. Somebody in the comments, tell me if
Yeah,
you've ever heard of the heart attack gun. If you
yeah.
wanted to get rid of if you wanted to just, make somebody go away like that, do you know how easy it would have been for them to just hit him with a heart attack gun? They've had the technology since the 70s where they could make it look like a heart attack, and it was actually, the CIA did it or something like that, right? So
And I want to reemphasize this again because I see a comment where someone's like the FBI telling the truth in Malcolm X, MLK, JFK, 9/11, January 6th, but with Charlie, they're absolutely telling the truth. Well, I can't emphasize this enough that the murder investigation is being done by the Utah Attorney General's office.
yeah, yeah,
And so if you want to call someone out, they are the ones that are leading the
yeah,
investigation. They're the ones collecting the evidence. They're the ones that release the text messages. They're the ones that released that so it's just so sloppy to
yeah,
always say it's the
yeah,
feds. Yes, the feds part of it, but they're not the one leading this
yeah,
investigation.
yeah,
So if you want to say that the feds are corrupt, you need to also say that the Utah Attorney General's office is also corrupt. And maybe they are, but it's just so sloppy. But I think what it is people like to use the word the feds because there's such a negative connotation with that, rightfully
rightfully
so,
so.
because they
Yeah,
have been
yeah,
corrupt.
yeah. But it doesn't mean everything they do is all. And here's the thing: do I think the feds are trustworthy? No, but they're also not omnipotent and they can't control everything. And I think this is an example of if the FBI was making this up, they wouldn't do it like this. The
Mm.
official narrative makes them look stupid. They
Mhm.
got the wrong guy twice. Do you remember that day?
Yeah.
We were all watching our phones, waiting. Did they get him? Did
Oh,
they get him? Did they get him? Twice they got the wrong guy.
yeah. Uh-huh.
And they publicly, Cash Patel posted, "We got him. Oops, that wasn't
Hmm.
him." And then again, "We got him. Oops, that wasn't him." And then when they
Hmm.
finally did get him, it wasn't even them. It fell
Hmm.
into, he turned himself in with his parent, with his dad telling him to turn him in. Like it makes them look stupid. Why would they make up a story like that? If they wanted to make it up, they would have been like, "We are these great heroes and we did this, that, and the other." No, no.
Can I throw out a
Go ahead.
conspiracy
Go
theory?
ahead. Go ahead.
I'm going to throw out a conspiracy theory, and I'm going to say this is a conspiracy theory. I do not have evidence. I do not have receipts, but this is something that I've thought of. So there's Antifa. There's the guy.
Wait,
Remember when
hold
this?
on. This person's saying here, why didn't his bodyguards use a trauma kit? Guys, he was dead immediately.
I also think they were trying to remove him from the scene because
Yeah,
it
they
was an
tried to
active
rush
shooter.
him. Yeah, and there was,
Yeah,
but that was, I mean, did you
yeah.
see the amount of blood
They
that
were
came out
just
of
trying
that
to,
guy?
and the thing is, here's the thing about that. The 24 hours after Charlie Kirk's assassination, I was a retard. Like I was going through
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much mentally. The way that they acted during that time, I, the psychology of that is so intense that
yeah,
it's not something I'm going to like judge them on
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
when was the last time we had a public assassination like that?
yeah.
You know, I mean, it was insane,
Okay, what?
but yeah, like they were trying to remove him from what I saw. This is my judgment on that. Is I think they were just trying to remove him from being shot again,
Yeah,
and maybe hoping that he could still be alive. But let's get him out of here right away
yeah.
because someone's trying to kill him.
Well,
That's what I
and
saw.
Erica said that he could have been shot like that in the emergency room and he wouldn't have made it.
Yeah,
And so unless you want to think his, which by the way, unless you want to go so far as to say you think his wife was in on it, which means you think Charlie was an idiot,
yeah.
which means
With very little evidence, like I
with
said,
no
people need to
evidence
pray
like that.
about
Like
that. Like,
seriously,
if
guys,
you really think,
one of the principles
like,
in the Bible is
you need a
not
little
just
bit more proof.
throwing out accusations on people.
Yeah.
Like that's a
Uh-huh.
Bible principle. It's
Well,
called
well, now
backbiting. Like
a certain person has gaslit their audience to if you even quote the Bible that
oh
you're
yeah, you have an
part of the psyop.
agenda now.
So
Yeah, for
yeah,
quoting the Bible.
okay. So
All right, go
anyways,
ahead.
uh now I forget what I was gonna say. Darn it.
All right, you want me to keep
Any
going until
okay.
you think of it?
Okay, keep it
All
going.
right.
Uh-huh.
So the CIA, they had tech. They didn't need to do it like that. That would be a dumb way to do it. The FBI, the story makes them look dumb. That wouldn't be the way that they would make up a story. The shooter turned himself in. The family ID'd him. Apparently, one of his coworkers ID'd him from the video and the way he clenches his fist when he walks. Um,
Oh, that's what I
Go
was gonna
ahead.
do is my conspiracy theory on it. So I think that there are people that are being paid to direct people away from the left.
I wouldn't be
Because
surprised
the guy
at
yeah, because the
all.
guy that was first saying that he did it. So remember when it happened,
Yeah,
there was this
an
weird
old
bald
guy, an
guy
old guy,
and his pants were like falling down when he was being arrested
and
because he yelled, "I did it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
did it."
something like that. Yeah,
And turns out this guy's a leftist, and I don't know why people aren't digging into who this guy is.
yeah,
Yeah, I
and
don't know why people aren't digging into the groups that this guy was in.
online they were okay.
Yeah,
That's another thing. Online
yeah,
leftists were talking about it days before it happened.
yeah. And there was yeah,
How does that fit your conspiracy theory that the FBI did it or something like that? Like that doesn't. I mean, come on, guys. All the evidence points toward. It's like already is a conspiracy theory. The conspiracy
mhm,
theory is it was a bunch of leftists and people who are with the T word, which I can't say because YouTube will get mad at me, but you guys know what I'm talking about. That gender that starts with the T, right? Um, they were all they were all talking about it before it happened. And
yeah,
this
they
kid
were.
probably got
Mhm.
help from those types of Antifa type groups.
Yeah, I don't think he acted
I
alone
don't think he acted
because
alone either.
because even the main conspiracy theorists, they will say that he was part of it. The leftist, Tyler
So
Robinson.
we
They
already
will say he was
have
part of
a
it.
conspiracy, but it's just not exciting enough for you guys, or what? Like,
Yeah,
you know what I
I don't
mean?
know.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
So you got to explain also, why did the family turn him in? And that's not like, why did he turn himself in? Like, these things are so big that you don't that evidence is so overwhelming that this other stuff has got to be really overwhelming, and it's not. Like, you're the arguments about the bullet, it's not conclusive, because there's
Hmm.
examples where that bullet does do those things, like MLK.
Hmm.
You've got to have better evidence than that to overcome a guy turning himself in, right? The parents going along with it. There's video of this kid walking on campus. You can see the gun in his pant leg when he's
Hmm.
walking. He's walking weird.
Hmm.
There's video of him jumping off the roof. People kept repeating, "Where's the gun?" It's right there in the video of him jumping off the roof. Right,
Hmm.
you can see he has something in his hand that is about that size. There's
There's people that say it's not him, and then they refer to an AI enhanced video image. Yeah.
nowadays, see, this is the kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But then it's like, okay, why did his parents why did he turn himself in? Why did his parents turn
Hmm.
himself in? Why aren't they screaming from the rooftop every day?
I and this is something that really irks me. You remember Carmelo Anthony, who shot
Yeah,
the
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean, not shot, stabbed
yeah,
the
yeah,
twin brother teen,
yeah,
and he had multiple witnesses.
yeah.
He definitely did it. He
Hmm.
killed the young man, and I actually wrote an article about this. So he was bailed out by advocates, not by lawyers. There was some black activist
Hmm.
advocate that went and worked to get him bailed out while he's awaiting trial. But then we have all of these people that don't think that Tyler Robinson shot the gun,
Hmm.
right? They don't think he killed Charlie, yet they don't give a Jack Nicholson about this young man sitting in prison.
Yeah, so you're basically saying, if you really think that this kid didn't do it, you should be
Yeah.
consistent, and
Yeah.
why aren't you fighting to
Fighting
get
for him
him
to
to
get
get
out because
free?
he hasn't even been on. He should have.
Yeah, so
He's been in
so
prison this whole. I mean,
Candace
in
has
jail this whole
Candace has
time.
backtracked on this. She had at one point she said he wasn't even on campus that day.
Yeah.
At another point,
But even so, even if she has said
and
multiple
now
times she
she's
doesn't believe he
saying,
pulled the trigger,
and now she's
yet does
saying
not
that he
care that
didn't
he's
act
sitting in
alone.
jail.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's
And
like,
I think
which
that's
one is it?
actually pretty
Yeah.
gross. Like,
If
you
you
guys should be fighting to get him out of prison, out of
if you
jail, if
really
you
do
don't think
think
it's
he's,
him.
yeah,
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 exactly.
yeah,
But,
yeah.
to each their own.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
each their own.
In the meantime, where Candace is destroying the jury pool, because on the one hand you got leftists who are going to want to acquit him, that will be tainted on the jury pool, and on the other hand it's like, okay, so you're going to have to get a conservative, but how many conservatives are getting pulled into the Candace world and thinking that kid's not guilty either? So who's going to give a just a fair trial? Um, it's dangerous stuff. All right, so because we mentioned her, let's talk a little bit more about Candace. And here's where I would say this, just about her conspiracy theory stuff on this subject. I think people need to follow the simple rule of fool me once, shame on you; fool me twice, shame on me.
Mm,
If you catch her in multiple lies, multiple massive holes, errors in her theories, and you just keep moving, you're asking to get lied to, because
mhm.
you've seen that this is somebody with a pattern of lying, making things up, or just throwing random stuff out there and without any evidence. And if you keep going back to that well, knowing that that well is poison, that's on you. Then you're the fool. You're acting like a fool. So she keeps saying this Spider-Man stuff. Oh, he had to be Spider-Man to get on the roof, right? Had to be Spider-Man. I went to college in Utah. If you understand the topography of Utah, like, where things are just, a lot of stuff is built on either mountains or on the foothills of mountains. The college campus, it's up and down. There's all these steps, right? And that, if you look at that building, it's built on these like tiers, right? because the ground is there's a lot of steep areas in Utah, and there's video now of a guy just walking onto the roof to show you like how easy this is. You do not have to be Spider-Man because ground level on a steep incline, and if you build a building like that, you can just walk right on fairly easily onto some of these roofs. You don't have to be Spider-Man. So
Mm.
the fact that she says that shows either one, she has no clue what she's talking about and she's being reckless, or two, she's lying. And if you're going to listen to somebody like that, you are opening yourself up to being lied to. Have fun, because you're going to get spun out into a bunch of conspiracy theories. Um, she got wrong the UTC thing, which is, the timestamp on, what was it, like the Egyptian planes or something like that. She was completely wrong on that, showing again she's throwing things out there, no clue what she's talking about. Oh, she admitted she was wrong. She should have checked that before throwing it out there to her massive audience with these accusations.
Yeah, she just called Tyler Boyer a swinger.
Just just throwing things out
And then
there.
I had someone say that that's because he's on the dark web. I'm like, okay, you could take a screenshot of that while you're scrolling the dark web, you weirdo. Like,
How do you know? Yeah, exactly.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm like, is she on the dark web?
How did
You
she get
know?
that info, right?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, she just threw that out
Throws
there.
it
She's
out
like,
there.
Tyler
Just
Boyer, you and your
throw.
wife are swingers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was wrong on the UTC time thing. She was wrong about the Spider-Man thing. She's wrong about saying that it's not possible for that caliber of bullet to do that. It is absolutely possible. And then she got tricked. Guys, you should be embarrassed to listen to this woman anymore. She got tricked by someone sending an email in saying, hey, this is the address you need to check out. It all comes back to this address. And then she read the address online. She didn't even bother to, with her hundreds of millions of dollars, didn't bother to have somebody go and check this before she went online live with it. The address was for her lawyer, and she just got spoofed, and it shows you she's just reading whatever random stuff comes in through the.
But people are going to say, but she corrects it. She's.
Why would you just throw, I mean, how would you like it if someone was just like, hey, I think everyone wearing this colored shirt here was part of an assassination, and you just happen to be one of the people wearing the wrong color shirt that day, and then later
Yeah.
on she says, oh, I corrected it. Would you be okay with that? Oh, it's cool, no big deal. I just got all these death threats and all this attention and my face plastered everywhere because I was wearing a maroon shirt. You can't just throw things like that out there.
Hmm.
It's just, all right. So
And the
we're
thing
almost done
is,
here. Go ahead.
if you're really doing a credible investigation, making it so public, making sure that it's live, also making sure that people can send you money while you're going
Oh, and
live.
one thing at a time. I'll give you another name next time.
Yeah,
That's not
yeah,
true.
that's yeah. That I because I've watched them, and there was a time where she was like, "I'm going to release one name per episode, like release all the names." And then I mentioned this last time, so she told Erica that she needs to be completely
Yeah,
transparent
yeah.
about what she's doing with Charlie's body after he died. She needs to be completely transparent about her intimate moments
Hmm,
where
hmm.
she's grieving because she let the public see some of her intimate moments, so now she needs to see it all. Well, can you do that with your text messages?
Yeah,
Because she shared an intimate text from Charlie where he was saying something about a shirt, and Candace said that he should change his shirt before going on a date, and Candace said she was in love. He was in love with this girl.
yeah,
We don't know that as a fact. That's just what Candace is saying. But can you share all your intimate texts
yeah.
now
Why
with
don't
him?
Why don't you share the text
Apply that same
messages?
standard. I don't
Yeah,
I It's hypocrisy.
yeah,
It's very
yeah.
hypocritical of her to say you need to share everything but I don't have to share
Erica has to
everything.
share everything because she shares
Yeah.
some. So
Or I will share it but it'll be on the next
I
episode.
know, right? Why doesn't Candace share the text messages that she shared with her and Charlie between the two of them around the time he unfollowed her on social media, or around the
Mhm.
time she left TPUSA?
Mhm.
What were those text messages like? You
Or the text messages of her congratulating him when he had a son and a daughter.
right?
Yeah.
Because yeah. So I don't know. She has to share it
Yeah.
all then, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so oh, and if you came late, because I see some people saying no, it wasn't possible to use that caliber of gun. Guys, go look up the caliber of gun that shot MLK. If you came late, I talked about that at the beginning. Go look that up. It's the same caliber of gun. It did not turn him into pink mist. Okay, no
Hmm.
exit wound. He MLK, not Charlie. MLK was shot in the jaw, and there was no exit wound. Right? Okay, it's same caliber of gun. And also, if you want more info on this, because I think this really kills it. People are getting convinced by this. They start with the bullet thing, and they get spun out from that. Go look up Phoenix Ammunition. Fenix ammunition on X. He has videos breaking this down. The guy is an ammo manufacturer, and he shows how, yes, this is possible. So, unless you have your own manufacturing company where you're manufacturing 6 million bullets a day and you're that much of a gun guy as he is, or you can explain to me how how MLK was shot with the same caliber and it didn't blow him up, then you probably don't know what you're talking about. All right. I'm almost done here with my list of things. I got two more things. Um, so the FBI looks dumb in this story. If they wouldn't have made this story up. Lastly, why are we not now focused on the left, Antifa, and the John Brown gun clubs? Do you guys even know what the John Brown gun clubs are? These are leftist, trans type of focused left wing gun clubs. And they're named after John Brown, who was an abolitionist who was, he was crazy. He was executed because he was trying to start a race war. What he did was he was going and trying to get he was basically trying to get black people in the South to rise up and like kill all the white people. He was a nut. Okay. And so his whole thing was like start a revolution. That was his thing. Now you have left wing groups with a bunch of like trans leanings that are calling themselves the John Brown gun clubs. Do you realize how scary that is? How come we're not talking about that? How come we're not talking about that? We're not talking about Antifa. We're not talking about crushing these networks, these terror networks that this kid was probably working with.
Hmm.
The reason why is because we've been distracted by people like Candace going into all of these crazy rabbit holes. When her theories make no sense, they get blown apart one after another. There's all these holes in them, and the official story is indeed plausible.
And if she's covering everything, like she says, she wants to cover everything, why hasn't she covered that? You know, um, it's something that should be addressed. It's something that should be looked into, especially now that she's saying that Tyler Robinson is part of it, that he's part of it. I'm glad she's admitting that, and I think she started admitting that in the beginning, and then kind of abandoned that, and then admitting
Yeah,
that again because
she's she's
the
backtracking.
trial's starting.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
those groups should be investigated.
yeah,
What groups was this kid part of?
yeah.
What group was that guy that was saying I did it, who was obviously a distraction so that this kid could get
How
away, or whoever
how was
shot the
he
gun? Because
involved? Right?
again, I'm not
Yes.
even going to say it's uh, I am awaiting trial. I think our side, we used to be all about innocent until proven guilty.
Well,
I
that's how the legal
remember,
system works. But we
yeah,
can
and
use
I
common
remember
sense.
there were certain times where people are being accused of things on our side, and we go to bat for them because we're like innocent until proven guilty, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And we're not doing that anymore. It's guilty until proven innocent.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so I'm excited to see this trial. I think if anyone is doing a responsible investigation, they actually should fly out if they can afford to do that and sit in the courthouse because it is being opened
Mm-hmm.
for people to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's also it's also there's going to be cameras in it, so I think that that's going to be very interesting to see the actual trial, what evidence they've gathered, because again, this investigation has not been public. Like, um, and I don't know, a lot of people keep saying the feds, but it's the Utah Attorney General's
Yeah,
office
yeah,
that's leading the murder investigation and
yeah.
actually brought the charges against Tyler
It's at the state
Robinson.
level. Yeah.
And there is more evidence. So I'm interested to see what evidence they have. And I think it's really, like I said, I'm not going to put guilt on anyone until it's proven. And but there is plausibility, and
Yeah,
there's the plausibility is very high that it could be this young man
yeah,
and
yeah.
left leaning groups a left leaning group that was acting to do this.
And that's what we
Um,
should be focusing on right now. And
yeah, or
it's
all of it. I mean, I'm not against people asking questions. I'm not against people
well, and here's the
questioning.
thing, like, but we have to do it responsibly, and we have to do it in a way where it's like, again, I will point to the principle: fool me once, shame on you; fool me twice,
Hmm.
shame on me.
Hmm.
Somebody like Candace, and there's others, she's not the only one, there's like Ian Carroll and all these other people who are doing the same grift, but if they're just throwing out theories that have these massive holes in them, and they just keep doing it, and here's a new theory today and a new one today and a new one today, it,
Well, how many
and
different have there been?
exactly, and
It's
if you
been the
continue to
it
listen to
was
those,
Israel,
you're
then it
you're
was
you're opening yourself up to getting lied to.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, and
And but here's the really really clever part of it all is that if you dare to speak against it, she has gaslit her audience to accuse you of getting paid in a paid psyop.
yeah,
And what's and
send the
there's
check, where's my
two
money?
truths, no, no, two truths and a lie. No, we're not trying to get
I'm
money on this. I don't
I'm
even want to joke
joking.
about that.
I'm
I'm
joking.
like so tired of people
I
accusing me
know.
of that right now that
My
the
point is, I'm
jokes,
not getting any checks.
yeah, the jokes are, yeah, but I do think there's a paid psyop against her right now, especially with the stuff that she said on Israel. I do think that there is a paid psyop against her. It's
I
just,
would
you know,
all the whole
yeah.
thing is all the different sides. There's
But
paid
I also
on
think that
every side.
she's being paid by people as well.
Exactly.
Everyone on our side
And
that has a big following that hasn't exposed all of these groups and foreign monies that go towards them, that hasn't said anything about it, they are in on it because that definitely happens. There is definitely people, and I have exposed this before. I did a whole live on it. Um, there are paid campaigns. I
for
actually got offered to
basically
do it.
anything you can
Yeah,
think of, there's a
and I
paid
don't.
campaign.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I do think that she's been part of those as well. She has people that back her and are giving her a lot of money,
To say
to
certain
put things
things
in the
and then
forefront. In fact,
yeah.
and this is a little of a distraction, but I think I want to say this. So some of you guys know who DC Drano is.
Yeah.
DC Drano does a lot of these paid
Yeah.
campaigns because I know how to recognize them. And I approached him in person
Yeah.
and asked him about this. This
Yeah.
was 2 years ago. And I was like, hey, I noticed that you do these paid campaigns where you don't disclose to your audience, but you push a message. And what he told me, he's all, I'm just being paid to push certain opinions that I have, but put them in the forefront. That's what he said.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. So, anyways, people that are stupid enough to accuse me of that and don't know me, you guys could just leave.
Well,
Like,
okay.
seriously.
Show me one other person,
Yeah.
because I don't know. Do you know of any
Because
others on the
they're
right?
all doing it.
Yeah,
Not I,
show me
but
one other influencer who has talked about this like Holly has, who has
no, I
talked
know.
about the fact that on our
And it's
side,
sad. It's sad that a lot of them
yeah,
are doing it.
yeah,
I will say there's been I don't know who's exposed it. People on X. There's a few people on X that have
yeah,
exposed it,
there, yeah,
but it was very disappointing for me, and I
yeah.
actually lost a lot of respect for people
Hmm.
with that.
Another thing to watch
And
for is when you see people constantly like sign the pledge. Not that it's every time, but a lot of times, guys,
oh, it's every
they're
time when they're asking you to sign a
sign a
petition, they're
pledge.
getting paid per
Yeah,
signature, and it's just email
they're just
harvesting. Don't do
email
it.
harvesting
If
you.
someone asks you to sign a
Nothing's
petition
going
for
to happen from
abortion,
it, or to
to
fight
ban
abortion,
transition,
to help
yeah,
Trump's agenda,
it's just
whatever.
email
Like
harvesting. Don't do it.
that's all it
Yeah.
is. They're getting paid.
Yeah.
They're getting paid to
They
get
pay,
your
they get
emails.
paid per signature. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, end of the day, our focus was supposed to be crushing Antifa and the left and dealing with things that can be verified instead of just things that just wild stuff that can be easily disproven. But we're not doing that. And it's because the right is full of grifters, which you just mentioned. It's because the right is full of grifters. And it's a massive shame that we had all this momentum. We had identified, let's go after Antifa and the left and these crazy people, and let's break apart. Let's look into who's funding them and the George Soroses and all this stuff behind it. And then it was like that's all gone. and we're not even focused on
Hmm.
that at all. And we had all this momentum, and Charlie Kirk's organization was massively growing. People were going back to church. Bible sales
Yeah,
were
they
going through
opened
the
up a
roof
bunch of TPUSA
all over the
chapters.
country. And now people are just like, there's a huge segment of the right that is just off into this fantasy world with all these ridiculous conspiracy theories. And they're tearing down his legacy, attacking his widow, making Candace a lot of money, a
Hmm.
lot of money, and people like her, not just her, and not focusing on the left or Antifa or all this stuff at all. Not at
Hmm.
all. Do you think that the left is happy at what we're doing, ripping our side apart? So,
And the thing is, I think that her audience is going to burn out on it
and she'll switch to
and
something
move
else. Yeah.
on. I think by February 1st, I'm calling it. It's going to be a Hollywood conspiracy theory that she's going to be doing a series on, and she will not have turned in any of her evidence to the Utah Attorney General's office, and people will have moved on.
Some
I
other
think that's what it's
tragedy.
going to be.
Yeah.
That's So we'll see.
We'll
We'll
see.
see. And I think time will tell. I think time will tell. And um, I pray this is what I really want people to do when they are wanting to put guilt on someone
Mm-hmm.
with very little evidence, if any
Mm-hmm.
evidence. Ask God, talk to God about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, should I, because this woman, a lot of people don't like Erica Kirk's eyes or something.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
she
yeah.
has intense blue eyes.
They don't
That
like that
means
she's
she's guilty.
promoting
Yeah.
that she's promoting Charlie's book that he wrote. Is that a reason? Ask God, like, should I put guilt on her because of that?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Is that a good enough reason?
I think discernment is so important right now, and you guys can hate us for doing this. It's okay. It's fine. But I think the people that do see through all of this and are keeping their brains turned on, they know what's going on.
Well, and
And
our intentions are, look, I hate to see it. Literally, it makes me mad to see what is being done to a widow without any good evidence, to an organization that this guy spent his whole life and handpicked all his successors and his board and everything. Like, to just see it all torn down, for us to have the wrong focus, for us to take our eyes off the ball on Antifa and all these groups, and we're wasting all this time. And I don't even want to do. We did a live on this, or we did a video on this the other day, and I really don't want to talk about this anymore. I want to be
yeah,
the final one, nail in the coffin, and
what do
I'd
you
like to
have to
move on.
say? And I think this is a valid concern of people's because it has been so sensationalized. What do you say about when people accuse Turning Point USA employees of lying? So, for example, like the Rob McCoy stuff, who's the father of,
Oh yeah, you mean of the
and
like blood on him or something like
yeah,
that?
uh-huh,
That
yeah.
is
What do you say to
that
that?
is such a small, insignificant. Like the guy, the son. So apparently it's a pastor who is
Hmm.
preaching like
Hmm.
weeks later
Yeah.
about the incident. The son had mentioned to the dad that there was people who had blood on them or something like that. And this has been dealt with on the Charlie Kirk show. And then the dad, like weeks later, he remembered his son saying that he had blood on him, and so he misspoke. And then the son went and clarified it. Like, this is such a small thing, and it's been clarified. Like, this is
Hmm.
like, that's it. Like, that's not even a lie, and that's like,
Hmm.
that's this the father.
Yeah, if you turn that into a court as
No,
evidence,
that's not
they'd
a
be like, okay.
okay. He
Um,
misspoke and then clarified.
and then I have
What?
another one for you. I have another question for you. What do you think about, Candace? People are saying she's just asking questions. What do you think about when Candace talks about Charlie Kirk's religious beliefs?
Oh,
Because we just had a very religious book come out by Charlie, like
yes.
probably his most religious book he has ever
And
released,
she's already
keeping
attacking it. Yeah.
and it's about keeping the Sabbath.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and she immediately said, "I don't keep Shabbat because I'm a Christian,"
Yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
obviously won't read his book, even though she's his
Yeah,
friend.
best friend, but
But
yeah,
but
yeah.
but Candace has asserted that she thinks Charlie was turning to becoming a Catholic,
She has
and
insinuated that. That
yeah,
before
and
his
she also
death.
said that he probably had a Catholic burial.
Yeah, which yeah, she
Um,
insinuated
and she
that as
also
well.
said that he was praying the rosary, possibly.
So you, I mean, this again. This is the fool me once. She's lying. Okay, just the Catholic burial alone. You can't have a Catholic burial without going through a whole process of like what she's talking about is,
Becoming a
yeah,
Catholic,
you have to be like
like fully becoming a
confirmed and all
Catholic.
this. Like
Yeah.
there's a process, you know.
And they have records of that.
Yeah, like you can't just like not anyone can go get buried in a Catholic cemetery. Like there's a process for this. She's just throwing this stuff out there. She's making things up. And she's attacking Protestants. By the way, if you're one of her fans and you're a Protestant, you should be deeply insulted by the way that she said, well, Charlie, he's too smart to stay a Protestant. Okay, so you're saying that Protestants are dumb? Like, why would you go and it's just so insensitive and it's dishonest and like, I don't know.
Which, by the way, if I ever get killed, which I have had death threats. In
Yeah,
fact, 24 hours after Charlie's death, I was receiving some of the worst death
yeah.
threats I've ever had. The only people that can speak for me and my beliefs are my husband and I would say my friend Kiana right now, who knows me very well and who knows my beliefs. That those are the only two people
Hmm.
that can speak for me. Do not let anyone else say that I was this or I was
Secretly your
that.
best friend,
Yes. And if
and
I have some
uh,
woman releasing text messages of
uh,
mine from 7 years ago or before I was with Joshua, which I've been married 15 years. So
yeah, have to be
saying that
longer
I
than
was
that.
deeply in love with this other
Oh
guy
my gosh.
because
When you
I
were
don't know
when you were in
why.
your 20s
Yeah.
or something. Yeah.
Please, please be angry at that woman for
Yes.
me. Thank you. Please be
Yes.
angry at that woman for me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's my public service announcement.
Yeah, there you go. Now we all have to put these announcements out
Yeah.
because of it's just evil. It's evil what these
Mhm.
people are doing. It should be obvious on the surface. And I don't know. I guess I'll just end with reminding
Oh,
people.
and if Candace ever gets assassinated, I will be doing a series on how it was her husband. They had a very weird way they
And just
met.
ask questions, right?
I'm just
She's
kidding.
joking.
I'm just kidding. I would not do that.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make money off of someone's
Yeah.
death.
Yeah. No.
You guys could even see that you can't even send me money right now. If you tried, you couldn't.
Yeah.
There's no way. I mean, you can send Candace hundreds when she does her lives, but you can't send me any.
Which she
So
is worth, her husband is worth over like $200 million
100.
dollars.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
180
a lot.
million or something. And
Uh-huh.
she's still asking for money from the average Joe.
Yeah, but that's
Whatever.
just
Okay. So, let's end. Maybe we'll just
we're
end.
being petty now.
Yeah. Let's just end with this thought. Like, just asking questions. I will remind you guys that there is a very clever way of insinuating something with the question. And the devil in the Garden of Eden was just asking questions. Go read it. Genesis chapter 3. Has God said? He just asked the question. Did God really say you can't eat from that tree? He just asked a question. He didn't say you should go eat from the tree. He just asked the question. Did God really say that? So go and rewind this. Look at the beginning. Go check out the evidence. I went through all the points. I think the official narrative in this case makes sense. I don't believe everything the government tells me, but I do. In this
Mm-mm.
case, it makes sense. And the conspiracy theories, there's massive holes in them. So let's end
And
it.
we're just asking questions of
Yeah,
the conspiracy
ask
theories.
questions of the questioners. And if you're not allowed to do
Yeah,
that, then there's a problem, right?
there's a problem, and we aren't.
Yeah.
And that's what she has gaslit her audience to believe that if anyone dares to question her, dares to expose anything about her intentions, we're a part of a paid psyop.
Yeah.
Good job. I mean, that's pretty brilliant. I will give her credit for that.
Yeah, she's a master manipulator.
Hmm.
All right,
All right.
let's get out of here. God bless
Okay.
you guys, and
Okay.
try and focus on
The left.
destroying the left. Yeah, maybe, please. All right. Ha-
Or just look into it at least.
yeah. Have a good
Yeah.
night, and
All
I'm
right.
ending the live stream. God bless.
Okay.